Anthony Bourdain watched 30 minutes of Baby Driver before he walked out of the movie theater. "It rubbed me the wrong way from the beginning," he said, looking back on an experience that led him to tweet "Fuck Baby Driver" to his millions of followers. "I felt like right away I knew what was going to happen to everybody in the cast. I just felt it was telegraphed so early and painfully. I had a violent physical reaction. I stumbled out the theater in a pit of depression and fury." That's the thing about Bourdain, who has spent 2 decades hosting food shows with a unique blend of machismo, travel fever, and cultural inquiry, a television personality who's a creature of cinema. He devours movies almost as frequently as the cuisines at the center of his show. And in all instances, he's man of discerning tastes. "When you called, I was watching Edge of Darkness, with Mel Gibson, which is this horrifyingly bad film based on this incredibly great 5-hour British series," he said, picking up the phone on a Thursday afternoon in between shoots. "I'm mesmerized by its awfulness. Some things should never be remade." That said, Bourdain often indulges in remakes and homages within his shows. On CNN's Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown, which he's hosted for 5 years, his cinematic influences often overshadow the food in the various countries he travels. "It's always been, to one extent or another, a stealth food show," he said. "We pretend it's about food. It rarely is. We always talk about films first, before we head to a location, for visual cues, for sound, for editing. We love nothing more than duping, emulating, or riffing on a film that few of our audiences have actually seen." A perfect match. On his show, Bourdain has spent time with film luminaries ranging from Francis Ford Coppola to Darren Aronofsky, but the June 3rd episode is an especially potent reflection of his cinephilia. Hong Kong finds Bourdain celebrating the city through his longtime affection for Wong Kar-wai movies, sampling expressionistic clips from Chungking Express and In the Mood for Love, and hanging around the city with the filmmaker's rambunctious cinematographer Christopher Doyle. Watching Doyle, a kooky ball of energy whose grey hair and lanky figure resemble Bourdain enough to make them look like brothers, it's a wonder it took so long for their paths to cross. "He was a hero to me," Bourdain said. "I had hoped and planned to just do a couple of scenes with the guy, talk about his films, how he looked at Hong Kong, what he looked for there." Instead, Doyle zipped around Hong Kong with Bourdain and his crew, talking through his creative philosophy and introducing him to various locals. Ultimately, Doyle took charge of the camera work. In the show, he arrives late to one restaurant sit-down and forces the team to redo the setup, and served as one of 3 credited cinematographers. "It was this wonderful, magical sort of kismet," Bourdain said.